I chose to do this tour up close and personal in a much more intimate setting is because this tour is for the fans. It's dedicated to the fans. It's my way of saying thank you for all of your love and all your support throughout all the years, and how much, to show you how much you really mean to me. And I'm able to see all the faces. It's different from doing stadiums or huge arenas. I can see everyone in this intimate setting, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it a great deal. Really having a lot of fun. All of us are. Well, the one thing not to expect from this tour is a whole bunch of pyro and a whole bunch of hoopla. It's completely different. It's just myself, the band, and the dancers. There are no explosions, no frills, just us, and just very relaxed sort of way. I think that's what makes this special as well. It's completely different from many other shows that I've done before, aside from being in a very intimate setting. You could expect to hear a lot of them, a lot of the number ones. Some that go way back from the Control album, Control. What have you done for me lately? Nasty. Those, as well as, I mean, there are a lot, as well as the more current number ones like Nothing, which was my most recent number one. Make Me was the number one prior to that. So I'm covering a lot of ground. Like I said, I haven't been able to put every number one song into the show, but I try to put as many as I possibly can. That's really hard to say what my favorite song in the show is, because I never kept a diary as a kid, and I still don't. And my music, those have been my diaries. So when I perform them, it takes me back to that point in my life, and I for that moment I reminisce, whether whatever it was I was writing about, or when I think about creating the video for that particular song. A lot of the concepts for the videos, I came up with those ideas, so it takes me to a lot of places, and a lot of times that's going through my head while I'm on stage. So it's hard for me to say that was my favorite or this was my, because I have a lot of them, and I love looking back and thinking about those times, really wonderful times. I do I guess you would call it a virtual duet with my brother Mike, Scream, and I love it. It's one of my favorite moments in the show. Um, it takes me back. It takes me back to when I was writing in the studio like crazy with Jimmy, trying to come up with a track, because he was in New York finishing his album, and I was in Minneapolis creating all different tracks for him, and just lots of different types, and to present to him to see which he liked, which one he would like best, and he chose Scream. He chose that track, and then he and I worked on the melody and the lyrical content together, and it was really representing what he was going through at that time in his life, which was a ton of drama, and me being the little sister that my role, and still my role to this day, and will always be, having his back, being the little sister, and supporting him, and it just brings back all of those memories, and then recording the actual song, and then the memory of shooting the video, and it was only supposed to be like 3 days, then it turned out to be what, like a 7 day shoot, something like that, and the most expensive video ever shot. It was a lot of hard work and a great deal of fun. I'll never forget those memories, and it's one of my favorite moments in the show. I'm really excited about producing my first film. I've collaborated with Lionsgate, and I'm really excited about it. I've been reading a lot of scripts. I have a few ideas, and I have a certain direction I think I'm going to go in, which I'm not going to mention. But it's something that I've always wanted to do. So it's a dream come true, and I'm really excited about it. I'll never give up music as long as it wants me to be around. I mean, I love music too much. It's too much a part of my life, my soul. And acting as well, that was my first passion and still is. I mean, that's what I started out doing before singing. So I'll continue to do both. Right now I've just been concentrating on the music, the tour. I'll start a new project at the end of this year, possibly the beginning of sometime in the new year, of creating going back into the studio and creating new music, and I will be doing more films. I always write what's going on in my life at that moment, and I'm not at that point just yet. I'm not getting ready to go into the studio, so that's how I normally do it, and I reflect and figure out the space, try to be in the now, so that's what I wind up writing about. That's how I base the majority of my ideas, my concepts. So we'll see where I am at that very moment, that space, when I get ready to create music and to create each concept for each song, lyrically speaking. It was very, very therapeutic, very cathartic in What Did I Get Married To? Because I was dealing with the passing of my brother, and it helped me to deal with that, getting back to work. And even though it was still right there in the forefront of my mind, I was able to, with certain scenes, kind of channel that energy into certain scenes that I had to do. Not every scene, but certain scenes. And with For Color Girls, it was very challenging for me. It was something that I had never done before, taking that direction with the character, and I loved it, and I wanted to take it on, and enjoyed her a great deal, the character. So it was a lot of fun in that sense, but at the same time it was very, very intense and difficult at times. But in a nutshell, I still enjoyed it. Both of them a great deal. I wrote True You because, point blank, I wanted to help people. That's really what it was in a nutshell. A lot of people would come to me and ask me about weight loss, weight gain. How did I do it? How did I get it off? What brought it on? And instead of just writing about that aspect of it, I wanted to dig a little deeper, go a little bit further, which took me into my childhood. And even though I tap on a lot of personal issues, it's not an autobiography. It's not everything that's happened in my life. Trust me. I don't tell everything. There's a lot more where that came from. But I wanted to tell enough because I really wanted it to not just touch adults, but to be able to relate to kids, because that's where it started for me. And to let them know that they're not alone if they are having some of these issues, and that it deals with self-esteem, a lot of different issues, and to let them know that they're not alone, and that they are special, and they are beautiful as they are, and unique. And that's what makes them so special. And I think that's important for people to know. So it's really my way of another way of me helping people, which is what I really think my true calling really is to help people. And I do it through, at least I try to, through my music. And another avenue because of my music is thank God, has been to be able to write a book. So I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy with the outcome and the response. It's been wonderful.